I grew up in the capital of the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo. Even though it is a city, there's still a lot of greenery. We had really tall trees that shaded the whole house. I was 7 years old when I moved to the US. I came straight to Providence, to the south side of Providence. One of the things that's really struck me, even at that age, was how gray the city was.
Trees are, we call them green infrastructure here in Rhode Island. We really think of them as ways to clean the water and clean the air. They can also cool the air. The canopy is not equitable across the city. And in those areas, the streets are hot, the buildings heat up, and then they re-radiate that heat at night.
A big difference from the south side of Providence, which is where we lived, whenever we walked, it was just really hot. I remember even making routes to school that were a little bit more shaded. Compared to when we went to East Providence, it was just a lot cooler. The temperature was a lot lower. We weren't sweating. You can even tell in our bodies how relaxed we were. I found the organization Groundwork Rhode Island, an environmental justice organization that was right in my neighborhood. We found that the city of Pawtucket had a free tree planting program that no one in our neighborhood knew about. The problem was the people from the greenest neighborhoods were the ones applying. We started looking for funding and we found out about American Forests. We sat down with them. We understood that they had funding to plant trees and also use this tree equity score that they created.
Tree Equity Score is a free tool for urban areas nationwide so that anyone could get in and get trees to people that need them the most. It's a single measure nationwide that ranges from 0 to 100. It's a combined measure of tree canopy need and social health and climate priority. The lower the score, the greater the need for investment.
So when they gave us the opportunity to use this tree equity score, I needed to understand what tree equity was and also talk to people about it. And it is just unequal distribution of green resources. Some people are experiencing the extreme heat in the summer a lot more. And tree equity really prioritizes bringing those trees and those resources to the areas that need it most.
I think that what's so striking when you look at this scale is just how ubiquitous these kinds of patterns are. You can look anywhere in America and you will see low-income communities, communities of color, have a lack of access to these kinds of natural resources that really improve our quality of life. What's really unique about Tree Equity Score is that it provides an equity-first, data-driven approach to filling gaps in our urban tree canopy.
In the past, it's been a first come, first serve type of program, both at the state and in many of the communities. You can look across the community and see where those scores are, but it doesn't tell you where you should plant the tree directly in the ground. And Leandro was one of the folks who spend time in the community and discover areas where they needed to put the trees.
We had a whole long list of people who applied for a free tree, whole bunch of addresses. We put the address in the tree equity score and saw if it was below 70 and they were getting a tree, or if it was above 70 and then that person wouldn't get a tree. Using the tree equity score was a game changer because we finally had the language like, hey, look at this score here. We need to work as a community to lower the temperatures in this neighborhood, and this tool shows it. So we ended up planting over 150 trees in residential, schools, and also we ended up working with the city of Pawtucket and the Department of Public Works and planting some trees downtown.
We are really excited at American Forest that the next generation of Tree Equity Score is here. We're pulling in the latest and greatest of the data that's out there. The most exciting thing about this release is Tree Equity Score now covers all urban areas in America. That's now 80% of the population that has a Tree Equity Score, and over 260 million people that can get into this tool and find their score. Being able to give people a tool to communicate about that and get funding to make change and advocate for change is really the most exciting part of the job.
I still see those trees that I planted, and some of the neighbors I'm still connected to. You know, they'll call me and I ask them about the tree. It's a great connection to have, and I can't wait to drive by them years from now and see them really do their work.
You can find your Tree Equity Score at treeequityscore.org.